Okay, garage renewal painting and epoxy floor update for the west side of the garage is now fully painted on all new outlets. Covers are put on. So that was the hole over there. That's all nice and sealed up. So, okay, tomorrow morning the epoxy crew comes, so we'll get a little footage of that. Okay, the crew's been here for about 6 hours now, and they're using these floor grinders, and they've produced about 200 pounds of a cement dust. They suck it up into a couple of vacuums, and they use these heavy industrial grinders, surface grinders, and what they do is they essentially grind off the cream coat on the cement and a little bit more, and they get down to the aggregate a little bit, so you'll start seeing some of the more aggregate bits, and then they get up to the edges real close, grinding with these hand grinders, which have these diamond surfaces on them. And so this is a treatment where they actually don't acid wash, they grind off the surface, which gives a better treatment for the floor. And this is the part A and part B epoxy coating that they're putting down. I'm getting beige.
And here are some cracks that they're going to grind out and then fill with some leveling compound.
So they've done a crack treatment. We have these relief cracks, and they're putting in they pour in this industrial sand to fill the deeper cracks, and then they put in this foam stuff, and then they cover that with a lot of caulking to hold down these foam tubes in the crack, and then a little sand over that while it cures. Self-leveling sealant, and that will stay flexible, and so the expansion joints can still flex a little, and then apparently the epoxy can float over that without damaging it. But it's all going to look like this, so that when I'm welding and doing woodwork, I don't have all these cracks full of junk to have to dig out. They came back today for about 4 hours to do some deeper crack sealing over here, and a little bit there, and a little bit here. They're going to come by tomorrow once this all hardens and regrind all this so it's nice and smooth. Okay, they were back this morning for a little bit. They've cleaned up some of these cracks and reground a few spots that were curing over the night, so that those cracks are good, and they've double checked and really made sure that this fill compound, this self-leveling compound has set up real good and has a little sand on it that's basically glued into it so that the primer will stick to it really good. This is a bit of an oil spot. They actually went to get some chemicals that will extract any last little bit of oil out of that spot, because they did get as much ground out as possible, and they just want to make sure that there's no oils coming out of there that would gas and then cause bubbling or cracking. And they put down the primer coat. They'll be back later tonight to put down the epoxy. And they have finished the job. It's been about a week. What you see here is they came in and they put 2 coats of the epoxy down. It's a beige epoxy. And then to protect that, they put down 2 coats of urethane, which is a 2-part compound that mixes up and goes down as a clear coat, kind of like what you put on an automotive car. And it took 4 days to do that, because there was a day for each coat of epoxy and a day for each coat of the urethane. And so it took one other week to finish this job. But it looks really, really nice. Nice deep color to it. The urethane coat might get scratched, but that's just because it's a clear coat, you just buff it out. If you really want it to look nice again in 4 or 5 years, you just put another coat of urethane down, and eventually that protects the beige epoxy. But that's it. That's the final update for the painting of the garage and epoxying of the floor. Worked out really, really nice. I'm quite satisfied with it. Thanks for joining. Thumbs up.